Millennials are reaching the point of adulthood that feels all too real. In these years, society tells us that you're supposed to have a decent paying job by now, a growing family of your own, and a plan for the future. Well, in the year of 2025, most millennials don't have any of those things. Actually, the average 30-something-year-old has balding due to stress, refuses to have kids over financial reasons, and stopped talking to their family over politics. Well, in this video, let's discuss why this generation, as well as any generation coming after them, has it so rough, as well as hearing some takes from all the ages. And if you personally have been enjoying my daily doomer commentaries over here on the page, feel free to like, comment your thoughts and opinions below, and subscribe to see my daily uploads right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the few that go above and beyond and check out those links down below in the description. Those are some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
Boomers want to know what it's like being young in 2025? Here it is. I just got off an 8-hour shift at work where I make double minimum wage in my state. I hop in my car, check my banking app. Cool, I've got $50 to last me till next week. Then I remember, oh shit, I have to run to Walmart because the wire in my bra snapped. I don't have underwear because it keeps going missing. My eyelash curler broke, and I have no food. I bought 4 things. 4 fucking things, and it came out to $40! I'm living off granola bars. But I hop my depressed ass back in my car, and I look at my banking app again. Oh, cool, I've got $10 now to last me till next week. I try to drive, but my car keeps misfiring. I can't afford to fix that. So I keep on parking, turning off my car, turning it back on, until it decides to act right. 30 minutes later, I'm finally heading home to my 4 roommates. I pay $8.50 a month. Now give him that's everything included, but $8.50 a month with 4 roommates. Remember back in the good old days when a man could afford to feed, raise, house his family on minimum wage? And he had a second family on the side who he also housed, fed, and raised. You know what I say to all that? Fuck you. You guys had it so fucking easy, and then you destroyed everything behind you. Fuck yeah!
Now, I like how she touched on that last one where a man used to be able to have 2 families. Now, a man can't even afford 1. But there are a few points in this video I would love to touch on. So much so, I wrote them down in my nifty little journal. So, let's get into it. First of all, she claimed that she's living with 4 roommates and is still paying $800 plus a month, which I'm not sure where she lives, what location, definitely plays a huge role, huge part in it, but that is an insane amount to pay when you have so many roommates. I'm curious what the size of her place she lives in is, because it probably is hopefully big enough to be worth that much. Her snack runs cost damn near $50 for 5 things. That's like an insane amount, but I've realized even when I go, and I'm going to do my, weekly grocery shopping, or even, in between grocery run trips, errand runs, you stop at the store and you get a little snack, or, you're in that, like, cashier line, and you see those little, peanuts and candy bars and soda pops on the side that are, really trying to get you to spend the extra couple dollars in your money. And, if you do that every single day, that really does add up over the course of the month. People don't really think about that. They're wasting their money. But all that stuff adds up so quickly. Now, fair enough, some of the stuff she's talking about, like the eyebrow roller, the eyelash, unnecessary. Guys, all you guys keep commenting that I need to get my hair cut. I'm going to get a haircut this upcoming Friday. This is how much money I have in my bank account right now. Yeah, so we're trying to do what we can day by day. The last thing I wanted to touch on was the fact she said her underwear keeps going missing. I would probably start questioning those roommates. But besides the point of that, I think it's insane to think the insane difference that is living in modern day versus living only a couple, years ago. We touch on decades ago here. I would like to kind of go through studies and break down the difference between different generations' lifestyles and the actual living, cost of living, all that stuff. But, even before the pandemic, even 5 years or 10 years before that, back in like the 2010s when I was growing up, I was still able to experience where, like, you could go to the store, you could fill up your grocery cart, and it will be under $100. Now, $100 will barely get you 2 bags full, especially if you're talking about anything other than food. If you're talking about, like, clothing, good luck. I mean, my underwear is, like, my socks. I don't even, like, I literally just don't shop anymore. I've had the same pair of shoes for, like, 2 years. It's just what it is. But either way, what is your guys' thoughts and opinions regarding the current economic status of the world, or whatever Jaden Smith said on that one interview when the paparazzi stopped him? And, please let me know what you think, because for the younger generation, Gen Z, Millennials, soon to be Gen Alpha, things are looking rough to say the least. Now let's hear some takes on the boomer side of things and how some older folks, some elderly people, are actually starting to wake up and understand things suck right now.
$290.
$290 a week. Who the is living on $290 a week? That's bananas. So yes, you definitely need to bring up that minimum wage to at least a reasonable. The minimum wage has not kept up. Had our Congress raised the federal minimum wage at the same rate that GDP has grown since the 1960s, the minimum wage would be $22 an hour federally. The federal minimum wage would be $22 an hour. Instead, it's $7.25 an hour. $7.25 an hour. That's $290 a week. That's ludicrous. $290 a week? Find me rent for $290 a week. What is that, $1,200 a month? Find any one-bedroom apartment for $1,200 a month, including utilities. You can't do it in virtually any city in America. Then how the hell could that be our minimum wage? That the minimum wage is less than the cost of a one-bedroom apartment without any utility.
Now, I always love to hear when you actually get to break down, like, people actually realize the difference of how we're living now versus if they were around long enough, they have been alive enough to experience this miserable existence of being a human being on this planet Earth, or, I guess whatever they taught us to call it, of how crazy the difference is, because this entire world, guys, is based around money, especially in America, which is what I touch on, it's what I cover, because it's my really only experience I've ever had, being a born and raised blooded American. I think it's insane to hear how when older people really realize, like, damn, that's how much people are living off of right now? Yeah, I'm sorry, that's how much your kids are living off of right now. Hopefully not. I know, like, I've had many of you guys comment in my comments, well, I had it great, and my kids are doing great, and they're millennials. Now, this is a survivorship bias, guys. When you figure it out, when you make it out, you just forget about everybody else behind you that hasn't really done so yet. There's this whole saying that's called pulling up the ladder, and it feels like that just keeps on happening more and more and more. And even some of the comments I posted, or even some of the comments you guys put on my last video discussing how millennials are one of the most unlucky generations in human history. I know, a little bit over-exaggerated, but we're trying to get some clicks here, guys, okay? We're trying to grow the channel. Forgive me. But I do think they are extremely unlucky, and some of you guys said, well, Gen Xers had it even worse. They're just complaining about history repeating itself, and we had it even worse than that and some. Well, guys, instead of being so, like, hey, it's your turn now. Instead, how about we flip the coin a bit and be like, let's come together, guys. I'm sorry you feel this way, but it's not us against each other. It's the people on the bottom versus the people at the top, and the people at the bottom, which is us, don't really have a say. So this is me getting my say. They allow me to talk to you through this, and they allow you to comment through the comment section and make your own videos. But at the end of the day, we really only have our common discourse, because we can't really fix anything by pointing fingers at each other. It's just really not how it works. Divide and conquer is how they run the world.
The real reason why Gen Z is broke and lazy. Gen Z spends all their money on avocado toast and coffees. All they do is sit on social media and they don't want to work. Not true. We want to be able to afford a decent living, but can't even move out of our parents' house. You had the opportunity to afford a house because things cost less and you had way less debt than we do now, but let me show you the numbers. On average, Gen Zers get a graduation present of more than $20,000 in student debt. That's 13% more than millennials did. And research shows it takes 21 years for us to pay off our student loans. So we'll be in our 40s still paying off tuition. But wait, college in 1970 cost $394 a year. Okay, but that still doesn't mean they aren't lazy. They want everything handed to them and for somebody else to pay for their choices. That is not true. Gen Z is actually one of the hardest working generations. This study shows 76% of them take responsibility of their own career. And more than half of them are willing to work nights and weekends for a higher pay. Key difference is that Gen Z speaks out about working tireless hours and being paid little.
Now, it's very easy to come online and just spew opinions and talk about whatever you want and kind of make up different topics and kind of push the narrative in whichever direction you feel is necessary for your own beliefs. Now, when you really break down the studies and actually look at the math and let, the charts show, it really is very obvious and hard to, dismiss the fact that it is a different way of life right now in 2025 versus what our parents, our grandparents, and, basically our parents, because the boomers really had a really decent in terms of the economic status of the world. They just kind of fell into a pretty hot pot. It just was nice for them. And we kind of are, in a spot right now where obviously no one ever knows what's next. I mean, even them, there was no way back then they knew they were in that crazy of an economic turn. And now recently we're in somewhat of an economic downturn, but I think we're still somewhat stable. I don't think we're going to necessarily, go completely bankrupt as a country or as the world, as the, universe. But I do think that You never really know what's going to be coming next, so it's not so great to be so cynical. I know, coming from me, who runs this channel, who is literally just talking about doomer topics every single day. But either way, I do think it is very important to look at the future in somewhat of a bright light and try to hope for the best, even though everything around you might seem dim. Everything around you might seem dim and slim right now, and there might not be much hope right now. But you have to try to find something. You have to find belief. You have to find faith in yourself, because no one's going to come and save you, and no one's going to come and save me. So I definitely appreciate you guys who do support me, because this YouTube channel is my way to break out of the system. Yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video discussing how the younger generations, Gen Alpha, Gen Zs, most definitely Millennials, have it rough compared to the Boomers, and the Gen X are kind of in the middle. Feel free to let me know all your guys' thoughts and opinions down below, which generation you're from, your age, your life experiences, and all that. I love to know. I read all the comments. I see every single one of them, and I respond to the ones I see fit. So feel free to shout out into the void down there, like I always try to. So a huge shout out to you guys who go above beyond and continue to support this channel. And continue to check out these videos. If you do like stuff like this, feel free to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. I'm trying to do multiple uploads a day. Let me know if you guys like that. Maybe that's too much. Maybe you guys don't want to see or hear from me that much, but I don't know. Either way, feel free to let me know. And a huge shout out to the few that go above and beyond, and check out those links down below in the description. Life has been hitting me like a brick lately. We are so close to next Friday, payday. And hopefully then, if my budget and, God willing, I'll be able to stay out of this mess for a while, if not forever. So, huge shout out to you guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.